Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another Cars 3 diecast review. Today we have Ralph Carlow, the Lil Torquey Pistons, number 117 Piston Cup Racer. Let's dive right into the review of this awesome diecast. Now, if you haven't seen my review of Jack DePost, the Towcat Racer, I highly recommend checking it out because these guys, they're like brothers. They have so many similarities, so pretty much everything I said for Jack at the beginning of the video is the exact same for Ralph. Like all of the Kmart stuff, all the first to market stuff, it's the same. But I'll briefly reiterate for you guys because I don't want to spend too much time because I know a lot of viewers saw my video on Jack and my video when I opened up all 8 of the cars I got from Kmart. So I'm pretty sure you guys have a good solid understanding of this. But if you don't, just feel free to post a comment, ask me a question. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But essentially, on June 17th, which was a Saturday here in the United States, Kmart hosted a special collector's event known as K-Day. They haven't done one since 2013 due to low attendance and the fact that the company is going downhill at a rapid speed of 214 miles per hour. Jackson Storm's top speed. I'm just kidding, but the company is failing. They are closing so many stores, so it's quite the surprise that they, are doing this event still. Mattel has the faith in the company, but whatever. The main appeal to attend the event was to pick up these 2 first-to-market releases, Jack and Ralph. First to market does not mean exclusive. It just means that you can get them at Kmart before Target or Walmart. They are being sold first there here in the US, not anywhere else. Walmart in Mexico had these before Kmart in the US. So it doesn't really apply to any other country. The Kmarts in Australia are not really related to the ones here in the US, unfortunately, because it would have been nice if they hosted the events, but that's not the case. Now, if you mail in 5 card backs along with the receipt, you can get a free Lightning McQueen. So that's a little bit more complicated. I'll put a link down to the mail-in the description below so you can check it out if you're interested in doing that. I'm going to be mailing in for 2 of whatever McQueen it may be. It's from the Precision series, but we don't know what paint job it is, and then I'll review it for you guys, and I'll probably say all this stuff again. But let's get on with the review here of Ralph Carlow. This is one of the few survivors from Cars 1 to Cars 3 in terms of Piston Cup racers. He was the Lil Torquey Pistons racer in Cars 1, and he still is for some of the movie. He does get replaced by the next generation Lil Torquey Pistons racer, which I have not seen in any trailers, but I will show, when I open this guy up, the stock car Lil Torquey Pistons racer, because we have seen him in a trailer or 2. You have the Cars 3 logo right here. On the back, you have Lightning McQueen as Jester, Whipple Filter, Chick Hicks with headset, even though in the movie, he doesn't appear with a headset. That's not really a spoiler. I'm just telling you that don't expect to see him with a headset. I don't know what happened there. Jack DePost, Doug Throttleman, Parker Braxton, and Rex Revler. Blindsided by a new generation of Piston Cup racers, Lightning McQueen finds himself suddenly pushed out of the sport he loves. To get back on top, he will need the help of a young race technician, inspiration from the late fabulous Hudson Hornet, and guidance from a few old friends along the way. I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing that, but there are new viewers, so I want to make sure everyone knows the description and the plot of Cars 3. Amazing movie, definitely check it out. Alright, I'll be right back with this awesome diecast opened up. Now we are going to waste no time and jump right into the review, starting with his appearance. So obviously, when Cars 3 comes out on DVD and we're able to pause, slow it down, and whatnot, we'll be able to take the pictures from the movie and show you guys exactly where Ralph appears. But there are 2 instances in trailers that I remember where he appeared pretty clearly. One, all the way back from the teaser trailer in November, he was seen kind of racing like this along with the Rev and Go racer right here. So it was a very cool racing scene. You can definitely hear their engines and whatnot. So he appeared kind of like that. It was pretty dark. You know, Ralph is a very vibrant racer with the light blue and whatnot, but in the trailer he looked kind of dark. Now we see him again. I'm not entirely sure what trailer this is, but I know I'll have to find out when I go digging for the picture of it. But Jackson Storm's kind of coming up like this. You don't see the entire Jackson Storm, just like the back portion of him, and then you get a clear shot at Lil Torquey Pistons from the front here. He's got a very like concentrated expression, and you can clearly see like the explosion or like sparkle of white dust that's like right here. So my biggest complaint about Ralph is that white dust, I don't know, explosion as I like to call it, is barely visible on the diecast here. Like, when I got him at Kmart, I was looking for it because I really liked that explosion. It looked really cool. And I'm looking for it on the diecast. I'm like, wait a second, was that not even Ralph in the trailer that I saw? I totally thought it was. But then I realized, oh, the explosion is kind of there, but it's so faint. So I'm pretty disappointed about that because in the trailer, it looks like it's very visible and very apparent. So we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later, but I kind of wish that was more visible on the diecast here. But I'm sure you guys can see it. Maybe you'll agree with me, maybe not, whatever. That's cool either way. Now, as for his, I don't know, story, he doesn't talk. He's just a background racer, gets replaced by the next gen Lil Torquey Pistons racer, which I'm sure we'll see in the future as a diecast or maybe as like a character buyout, because they're making like, I don't know, trading cards now for a lot of the characters in Cars 3 in the United Kingdom, like the stock car leakless racer and a bunch of other ones. So I'm super excited for those, and maybe he'll get a, I don't know, picture or whatnot, because I really want to see like all of the Piston Cup racers up close and have their own like model picture. So far, the Cars 3 version of Ralph is only available as a single, but in the future, he may get re-released. Maybe not though, but it's kind of likely. Now, Ralph has been released before, technically, because it's the same racer as in Cars 1. I don't totally agree with that because I feel like all of the racers in Cars 1 that weren't rookies, and McQueen was the only rookie in Cars 1, they should have retired by now. And that's the case for most of the racers, but any racer that has this model, so Sputter Stop, Bumper Save, and No Stall, who I don't have open, are the same characters as their Cars 1 counterparts, Murray Clutchburn and Paunchy White. But I did a review of Murray. Link will be in the description for that. I haven't reviewed Paunchy just yet, but there's a lot to talk about for him because there are variations. But getting back to the releases, Ralph in the Cars 1 state has been released quite a bit. Here is his rubber tire release, exclusive to Kmart way back in 2009. So of course he's getting some more Kmart attention. And this one's got a dent in the blister. I hate that. I'm so particular about my cars. Here's a relatively recent release for him. Toys R Us exclusive Radiator Springs Classic. I believe this was like 2013 or 2014. And it was also released in the 2017 Piston Cup Racing Series. And if you'd like to see my review of that, link will be down below. I did a whole case unboxing. It's actually pretty cool. It's my only video that exceeds 1 hour, so very long. It was a lot of work. But anyway, now let's get on to the review of Ralph. And as you guys know, for any Piston Cup racer for Cars 3, we do a side-by-side comparison with their version from Cars 1. Now, I absolutely love this guy. I originally thought that I liked Jack DePost more than Ralph, and that's why I reviewed him before, but I realize now that I think I like Ralph more, even though I'm not a fan of him returning as the Lil Torquey Pistons stock car racer. But I just feel like the design is so different. And a lot of the racers that I've been reviewing lately, like Reb Meeker, Gaskets, who is Rex Revler, and even Jack DePost, their paint jobs are very similar to the Cars 1 paint jobs. I wish they were different because, evolution of branding and companies, it makes sense for it to be different. I feel like they really made it different for Lil Torquey Pistons. If you take a look here at the front, you have the determined expression on both. The expressions are almost the exact same because you have like the eyebrow juts up right there, kind of forms a triangle. Same thing right there. I find that pretty cool because they're the same character. Now obviously different models entirely. Plastic surgery, question mark? Perhaps. We really have no idea how he metamorphed into this new model. It's really strange for cars like Sputterstop because the models were completely different. These are a little bit more similar and therefore more understandable. But you can see in my review of Sputterstop that Murray was drastically different in Cars 1. But we're just going to overlook that. It is what it is. No reason to really complain about it at this point. If you look at the hood designs, they are entirely different. You still have the red stripe kind of concept, but of course you have the circle. Very classic early 2000s look. Lil Torquey Pistons, and then you have the smiley face piston right there. I like this retro design, but you can definitely tell that the years have impacted the branding. Now you don't really have a circle, more of an oval. You can see the Lil Torquey Pistons right there, and then you have a big smiley face piston, which I really do like about it. A lot of the piston car racers for Cars 3, they just have the text on the front and nothing else. Like for toe cap, as you saw, it just says toe cap right there, and then hitch protector, they lost the toe cap, the actual image of it on the hood, which I wasn't a big fan of. But for this, they kept the animated smiley face Lil Torquey Piston. I absolutely love that because it really gives the car character, and it's kind of humorous to see the smiley face there. So you can see big changes right there, and the little white dust explosion, whatever. I wish it was more apparent because it seems like in the movie it definitely is. You can see the grill right there, kind of a nice, just typical blue coloring. You can see his number 117 below the headlight there. Before, 117 was actually on the headlight because it was a sticker. On the side here, you can see Lightyear on the fenders there because he has black Lightyear tires and red rims. I do like the red rims. They're pretty much the same as in Cars 1 with the black Lightyear tires. You have some contingency sponsors right here. Piston Cop, Vitaline Revolting, RPM Nitrate, Octane Gain, and Clutch Aid. Ralph from Cars 1 had a lot more contingency sponsors, as you can see right there. Let's see if any carried over. You have Clutch Aid, Vitaline, Nitrate, Revolting, Piston Cup, of course, that's a given. Looks like RPM and Octane Gain were not on the Cars 1 version. Well, RPM was, I don't see, actually there's Octane Gain. So it looks like everyone that was on the Cars 1 version of Ralph carried over to the Cars 3 version, but obviously he lost a lot, and that goes for all of the stock car piston car racers from Cars 3. I like the stripes here. You just have that plain blue, and then you have red, white, and then a lighter blue. Very gradient mixed with some white in there. Very, very cool, and it kind of continues throughout the rest of the body here. I like how there's some more white stripes. Very loose, not really like structured or anything in there in that area right there. I really do like that because it gives it just more of a shaded, vibrant look. Whereas on the Cars 1 version, it was very simple. You just have red, white, and blue. No shading at all. But it still looked cool, retro, and I definitely like how they made it, feel the times because it makes sense for 2017 versus 2006. You have the red arrow right there to indicate to his pit team to lift him up to do work on the undercarriage. Exhaust pipes right there, same spot as before. I like the 117. It fades from more of a lighter yellow up here down to an orange, and it's definitely 3D with the black width to it. The depth, kind of similar thing on Cars 1 here, but a little bit more flat, and obviously no fading to orange. On the roof here, you have the red stripe, the 117, the roof flaps right there. I like how now it's like a light blue. Very, very cool right there. Whereas Ralph from Cars 1 just had dark blue throughout there. Same thing pretty much on the hood, or roof I mean. 117 and roof flaps just updated. On the back here, you have this long oval that says Lil Torquey Pistons. My buddy right there. We should name him the smiley face. Can we call him just Little or something? Lil? I don't know, maybe. Then you have the gas cap right there. Below the back window, Lil Torquey Pistons in that blue thing, which is the same logo as on the hood. Pretty much kind of the old design of that same logo, Lil Torquey Pistons, in the long oval. Then Little, the young version of Little. He's grown up now. It's 11 years later. He's now going off to college. Man, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's late. I just had a great day today. And now just kind of relaxing, making a review for you guys. There's a pretty big change below the window. And now moving on to the back bumper, you can see Lil Torquey Pistons written out in the long white oval along with the camera right smack dab in the middle. Yes, that black thing is a camera used to get really cool shots of racing from behind for TV broadcasting and whatnot. Also, you may notice that 117 was on the taillight on the left before, and now it's on the actual bumper on the right. Also, just straight up light blue, whereas before you had dark blue, white, and then red. I really do like that change because it's a pretty big evolution. It really distinguishes the Cars 1 Ralph from Cars 3 Ralph. I definitely like to see change, especially when we're dealing with an 11-year difference. Alright, so that's all for Ralph. Here's the base if you're interested. Not much to see, but I know some of you guys are interested in that kind of stuff. So that's all for my review of Cars 3 Ralph and side-by-side comparison with the Cars 1 version. Let me know in the comment section below which one is your favorite. Mine is definitely the one from Cars 3. I love the better vibrancy. Alright, of course we cannot leave though without showing my custom Lil Torquey Pistons hauler. Obviously, he goes a little bit better with the Cars 1 version because he's a lot darker. I feel like the Cars 3 hauler would have a lot more light blue because obviously it has to match the racer, but still very cool to see a full team. Well, kind of. We're missing like a crew chief and pitties and whatnot, but still nice to see. If you'd like to see my full review of the hauler, you can check out the description below. It's one of the best customs I have. The paint, like that silver paint right there, is not the best, but the decals are amazing. Some of the custom haulers I have, the decals are peeling off, but this, it's stuck on there forever and ever, like glue. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This concludes my opening for all the Kmart cars. Now I can mail them in and hopefully the McQueen is shipped soon. Hopefully it doesn't take forever because I really want to know what it is. I probably won't be first because I know people who have already mailed in. I'm a little late to the game, but don't worry. You have until July 31st to mail in. A lot of people have been asking that question to me in the comments, so for those of you who are wondering, there you go. It's from June 17th to July 31st, and you can buy the cars during that time, but you have to mail them in before or actually on July 31st. But after that, no deal anymore, unfortunately. But you still might find a Jack or Ralph hanging around at your local Kmart, if that is, it's local anymore, because my local Kmart, it kind of died, and like my next local one died, and then the one after that died. I've said this so many times, but thank you guys so much for watching. Like I've said, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time for a review of Mac iCar, or whoever it is now, the next gen Apple racer. It's another custom, probably one of the best customs I've ever had. See you guys then. Bye now.